You are now listening to the Lasting Legacy Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of the Lasting Legacy Podcast. If you haven't checked us out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can also listen to us there. I pretty much only plug YouTube, but we are also on all your podcast platforms, and we get paid 1 penny per listen. Once we get $50, we're going to buy the guest a new comfy chair.
Nice.
So
that's right.
So then all the other guests have to come back and try out the new chair. But anyway, today we have a very special guest. We have Nick Madero. He is co-owner with his wife of Madero Pest Control out here in Pueblo, Colorado. And we're going to talk to him about bugs and business, I suppose.
That's right. First, I want to let everybody know that I don't own a barbershop, because I know you guys have had a lot of barbers on here. I don't cut hair. I just kill bugs.
Well,
That's perfect.
That's good. I think the barber content's getting played out, maybe, huh?
No, I actually like it. Everybody has their own unique story.
For sure.
I work with a ton of barbers. He knows barbers, so it kind of naturally happens.
It's pretty easy, yeah.
And like I said, I say this every time, the barber community is just the dopest community out there.
They are.
I feel
friendly, loving.
Yeah, like usually I'm like, oh man, the most dripped out or something like that, the most gold, until I go to a barber battle and those dudes have like 6 gold chains on, and I'm like, damn, I need 4 more.
industry.
I need 4 more. Yeah. But for those who don't know, I'm David, owner of David Took It Photography, Videography. Check me out. And I usually ask the questions around here. So let's just get right into it, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Well, I own a business with my wife, Madero Pest Control, since about end of 2014. Always had kind of that drive to want to have our own business, and we were put in kind of a position where we had no choice. So that's kind of how we started. I knew it would grow, but I didn't think it'd grow as fast as it has, and
That's exciting.
we're excited for the future. And
What'd you do before pest control?
before Pest Control, I actually worked for a national company before we started our own thing. So
Doing
I worked-
pest control as
doing
well?
pest control, I did that for about 5 years. And then, corporate America, and
Yeah.
not really getting to spend a lot of time with my wife and kids. That kind of pushed me to want to start a business with my wife. And
Yeah.
my only regret is that I didn't do it sooner.
Thank you. I tell
I hear
everybody
that a lot.
100%. I tell everybody, just jump.
Yeah.
Who cares?
And you have
Everybody has a fear of failure. They don't want to, they have the stability and they're comfortable. And if you want to succeed in anything, I think you got to be willing to be uncomfortable.
For sure.
So,
I agree. What about your wife? What did she do before?
well, she was a homemaker, and I can't say she just stayed at home because
they have
you know,
17
that is-
kids.
Yeah.
You guys have 17 kids?
We got 4, but she took care of the
okay.
family and everything else. I mean, made my life a whole lot easier.
No, that's good.
So when we decided to start this, it's something that we did together, which some people have a hard time working with their significant other. But for us, I mean, we clash heads on things, but for the most part, it's benefits both of us to be successful. So
For sure.
we
Yeah.
both kind of push each other.
Absolutely. How'd you guys get into pest control? I know you said you were in it, but what led you down that road?
You know what? I never wanted to get into pest control. When we first moved to Colorado, I was kind of just looking for a job, and Terminix was hiring at the time. So I applied and didn't think I was going to get it. But the boss said with my personality and people skills, gave me a shot, and I loved it.
You're like, the bugs are going to love you, man.
First it was a job, and then it became a passion where I was kind of reading stuff on my own outside of work and kind of wanted to learn more about bugs and why they're here. And
How to get rid of them?
yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand unless you went through it. But if you've ever had a sugar ant problem, those guys are very
Tell me
interesting.
about it.
Those
That's like one of the main calls right now is
Sugar
ants.
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 Yeah.
Ants. Ants.
It's so crazy. Yeah, that's. Well, I was going to say, how long were you in the corporate pest control world before you jumped ship?
About 5 years.
Okay.
5 years. It just didn't like the direction things were going. It was more of a customers were just a number type deal.
For sure.
And I kind of liked the idea of providing a service, but kind of building a relationship with clients. So that's kind of what our little niche is.
Yeah.
We don't overload our technicians. We don't overload our schedules. We have the time and we can sit there and inspect and do a good job and provide a quality service, not just a spray and pray,
Yeah.
hit it and quit it type deal.
My one friend worked at some pest company. It was on the East Coast. And, yeah, it's like he was working 60 hours a week every week because they're like, no, you got to work every Saturday. You're still working because we booked you jobs to go work.
I worked Monday through Saturday. I was the only guy that was in the office here that had a license. You know, they gave me the books. I studied and went and got a license. So I was the one that got the big jobs. That just meant that I had a lot of work, so I would have to work Monday through Saturday. My only day off was Sunday, which kind of sucked because on Sundays I just wanted to chill at home. And
No, for sure. You can't get anything done.
No, get ready for the next week.
Yeah, seriously.
What kind of certification was that?
That license, I just got my certified operator's license back then. So I was licensed for General Pest Control, WDO, which is termite and wood destroying organisms. I had my vertebrae license, and I had my public health and safety, which that license is needed to treat like for mosquitoes, ticks.
Oh, okay.
So pretty much got all the licenses needed. And
That's
vertebrae,
crazy.
can't forget that. That's prairie dogs and snakes, gophers, all that.
Interesting.
crap.
So you blow them up?
We actually have a special machine that we invested in, and
Yeah.
it seems to work pretty good rather than putting bait down in a hole and hoping that the people's dog or kids don't go digging
No, for
it up.
sure. My first job, a lot of people don't know, was the country club. I worked on the golf course, which when I tell people my first job was the country club, they're like, "Oh, that's really glorious." No, that was the worst shit ever. Like from that point on, I knew I was never going to work with my hands again. But I used to like when they used to come and blow up the prairie dog holes. That was the coolest shit for me to watch.
They use propane on that?
Yeah, they'd fill that thing up and just boom. You see the guy on the tee boxes flinch. Oh, it was the best.
We had a client one time that called in, and he called and said that his wife requested that he hire a professional because he tried to do the whole propane thing for gophers. And it blew up in his face, and he lost his eyebrows and everything else. Eyelashes and eyebrows were gone.
Damn.
I looked at this dude,
And the
I said,
gophers were chilling.
The gophers were still there.
That's insane.
That's crazy how many certifications that you need. I mean, it makes sense. You're dealing with like poison and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's just kind of funny to me, like what the government decides to certify and not, because there is no, in the state of Colorado, anyone can prepare your taxes. You can, both of you can open up a tax company tomorrow and start filing taxes.
Yeah.
No certification needed at all. And then you need like 15
control,
different certifications to.
That's just like termite. Any termite job we do, a qualified supervisor has to be there, and I have that license. So
Wow.
even though my guys know what they're doing, I still have to be on site.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks sometimes,
Yeah.
but I mean, we're drilling in concrete. I want to make sure that the guys are safe, don't hit a gas line or,
No, for sure. Yeah. Dang, that's
you did
insane.
that at my house.
Yeah.
How many employees do you have?
Right now we got 2 full-time guys,
Nice.
plus myself.
And you've had employees since the start of the business, or
No,
started off
actually,
with just you guys?
It was just her running all the office stuff, answering the phones, me going out and doing all the services. And anybody that's going to get into business, I know sometimes, I said in the beginning that I wanted to spend more time with my family. I do get that, but I work more for
For yourself.
hours per week than I ever did for any company.
For sure.
And I don't get paid.
I mean, kind of,
Well, I do, but I don't.
No, exactly.
Shout out to the IRS. I don't get paid.
What lessons have you learned in business that you maybe didn't think you were going to learn, or,
One of the lessons I learned is, when we first decided we were going to start our business, I thought I was going to have support from like family and friends, and everybody and their mom that knew me was going to call and set up service, or, just even sharing a post or something. And that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So you just got to get up every day and just push and believe in yourself. And
That's super interesting. I did see a post just recently that said you're more likely to make a friend out of a customer than a friend a customer.
it's real true. I mean, I've lost, within the last 2 years, I think we've lost 3 customers. They passed away. And you get so close to these clients, they're
Yeah.
like family, And
For sure, yeah, you're in
when
their
I
home.
got the
and-
news, I actually cried.
No, for sure,
I
yeah.
cried because these people, I've known them for so many years, and we built kind of a rapport and relationship. And
Yeah, I mean, customer service is a passion.
there's family,
you know?
and there's family I have that I haven't spoken to in years.
No, it's crazy. It's definitely a crazy thing.
For like some reason, it is kind of true. It's like when you first start a business, people are like waiting it out to see if
Yeah.
they can trust you with what
Is
you're
it
doing
legit?
almost.
You know,
and And they don't. I guess I can't really blame them, but at the same time, yeah, you would think like
You would think you'd get the support.
you would get some support. At least give you a shot. You know what I mean?
It was interesting. I did photo video part-time while I worked at the feds, and the amount of support I got once I announced I was leaving, it tripled over, you know, because people, I don't know if they took me more serious or they did want to support.
I think that's what it is. They think, well, oh, he's 100% into it now, so now we're going to give him the shots. Like, they should have been giving you the opportunity
to make
when you first started, you know what I mean? And I think that was one of the biggest lessons I learned is we thought we were going to get so much support. And I mean, we still had a killer year. I made more that first year as a business. We made more than I had ever made even working for the government back in the day. So
that's insane.
It panned out. But when they do have problems, you know, now that we've been in the business for a while, of course, now they want to call and they want free service. But
no,
I don't do free.
No, of course. Absolutely not. So you guys have a couple company vehicles, correct?
Yeah. We got a few service trucks. We actually got one down right now, which I'm trying to figure that out. But we're making do with what we got.
So did you buy them and then kind of outfit them accordingly?
We bought some used ones that was from from Terminex. They went to auction, and I just happened to find them at a couple of local car dealerships. So we ended up getting 3. One we got rid of, but we have 2. They're already set up. All we had to do is just throw our stuff in and put our logo on and get to work.
Which, I mean, we could talk about the wrap on it if you've ever seen it. Shout out Print Pros, Anthony Velasquez for the wrap. They have the biggest, scariest spider I've ever seen on their car, on their trucks out there.
The tailgate was the thing that Anthony was kind of deciding, you know, what do you want to do? And I had this idea, and we kind of put our heads together. I mean, he put everything together, the layout, and it just came out. That's exactly what I envisioned. Is just, if you haven't seen the tailgate, I mean, just look at it. Wolf spider, all the eyes just looking right at you. It's awesome.
Yeah, I was behind one of them the other day, and I was like, God, that thing is so scary looking. That's insane. What is like your most common call? I know you said right now is ants, but what do you guys kind of deal with?
Ant season is right now, and that's the biggest thing right now. Most of the calls we get are spiders. People just
scared.
They don't understand they're beneficial. They eat every other insect that can get access to your house, but nobody wants a spider crawling around.
No, most definitely
not. And I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
My wife just hates mice. She's like, or she hates everything, really. She really hates mice, though. But she always gets so excited when you guys come every 3 months. She's like, when are they coming again? Because I saw a spider downstairs, and they need to come and spray it.
So is that what you try and do with your customers, to set up every 3 months?
Every 3 months is what we recommend. I mean, everybody's different, so we kind of customize it to what the customer wants.
Okay.
We have a few customers that only like getting house service like spring and fall. The rest of the time, they don't care. And we got some that we do every month. Like, they don't want to see no insects. And I tell them, like, the materials will start breaking down 75 to 90 days. That's why we recommend quarterly. But they're just adamant about monthly service. We do bi-monthly. We do one times. So we kind of customize it to depending on the problem and kind of what the customer wants.
That's interesting.
So I'm kind of curious if you want to dive in a little bit on like having employees and making that transition from,
from being by myself to having employees.
Managing.
We'll be here all day.
That's fine with me. It's my favorite thing to talk about.
Brad loves talking about it.
I'm going to tell everybody, like, when you're looking for an employee, you got to understand that they're not you. So your expectations of them doing everything exactly the way you want, you're never going to get that. Another thing is, like, the investment of tools and equipment and stuff, they're not going to take care of it like you're going to take care of it. You give them a company phone and you'll see them just toss their phone. I'm like, hey, man, those are expensive, Equipment's the same way. So one thing I tell everybody is, if you're going to get employees, just understand, pick and choose your battles. Don't sit there and, make them so upset that they just want to leave. But at the same time, you just set systems up and get everything kind of ready. It'll be an easy transition. But, like, as an owner, I want to make sure that all my clients are taken care of. There's no issues. Everybody's happy. I'm striving for 5 stars on every service. Technicians, the team that we have now, I mean, they're awesome. But like I said, we got to pick and kind of choose our battles. I mean, they're not perfect. I'm not perfect. But that was one of the first employee we hired was a mess. It was a nightmare. And
What
you
was
kind of
the,
get those red flags,
Yeah.
but you kind of want to like pretend you don't see them. And I think that was a mistake. Should have been
More
taken care of
diligent.
earlier. And luckily it didn't cause any damage, but it could have been pretty bad. So
You probably learned a lot, right? I mean,
yeah. One of the things I learned is when it comes to letting employees go, business is business. I don't take it personal, and I hope they don't take it personal either. The first employee that we had to let go, I mean, after I let him go and he walked off, I got his keys and everything. I went to the house and I cried. And I'm not a big crier. I'm like, man, I just felt so bad. This guy had a family, you know. But at the same time, I couldn't risk losing everything just because he didn't want to follow safety protocols. I mean, I didn't want to make the call and say, hey, this happened. You know, hey, your husband.
That's a way worse call.
Right. So we cut ties, and I took it personal, and someone told me, you know, you got to understand that you didn't fire them. They fired themselves. So you got to remember that, you know, it's just business. Don't take it personal. But at the same time, you want to kind of build like a good company culture with your team. And I've had crappy bosses. I know what it's like to work for somebody that don't appreciate you and don't give two shits, you know. So I try to be a good boss. Me and Angela try.
I think what's great is that you were in the field and you were doing it
Right.
before you managed it. That's kind of same with me. Like as I bring on a couple people here and there, like I've done what they did.
Right. Gives
and
you that experience. Yeah.
You do, and you kind of understand. I think it helps you pick your battles more or less.
I tell my guys too, one thing is I would never ask them to do something that I haven't done or wouldn't be willing to do myself. So from drilling on a termite job and trenching or shoveling, like when they tell me, you know, have you? Yeah, I've done everything. There's times when we started with our family van. So I had all my stuff in the back. So I'd go take the kids to school, come home, grab my stuff, go off, run route, make sure I'm back in time to get the kids, take them home, and then go back out. So with us, it was like that's all we had, and I kind of took care of our equipment and made sure that everything was running smooth. And
Being organized.
you have to be.
Yeah.
You really have to be. I mean, it's one of the main things I think of being successful in any endeavor is just systems is a
For
big
sure.
thing.
I don't
and
think a
being
lot
organized.
a lot of people don't, and I know we don't talk about it on here, but I am huge on systems and, you know, the workflow. Like, how do I get from, you know, the customer reaching out to me to them booked all the way to finishing payment? So that'll be a good one, actually. What kind of service do you use? Like, I use Square Appointments for me. It just works really well. But
right now we're using the same thing Brad uses. Wave, and that's how I
Wave.
found it. We use one system that we use, and that system is basically it's all our scheduling.
yeah.
So I can go right now, look at my phone, see where my guy's at, what he's completed, what he's done, what he's got left. If anybody rescheduled, that's called Gorilla Desk. That's what we use for that. They set it up for pest control, but there's landscape companies using it. I mean, it's pretty good service. And they have the ability to integrate, I think, Square.
Through
And
it.
there's another one, so you can actually do payments through there. But I didn't really like the setup the way it was done because it would charge these customers automatic. And I couldn't figure out how to take that off.
Yeah. Up
So,
front.
we just kind of switched over.
Oh, okay.
The only downfall is now customers get two emails. They get one with a service ticket and they get one for payment. But
I don't think it really matters.
because I use Wave too, which is why we both use Wave, right? That's how I invoice everything as Wave. But I want to use Square for appointments, but I want to just use Square to invoice as well. But the issue is I have 30 plus clients or whatever, and a lot of them are already on reoccurring. All their information's in. So then if I make the switch to Square,
You have to redo it and build their profile.
I have to rebuild everyone's profile, which that's not the worst part. What's the worst part is then I got to get everyone to re-enter their credit card information for the auto pays. So that's the part that I'm somewhat dreading to do. But I think I just need to do it like off
As
of
you
tax
meet
season.
with them.
You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
And just do it that way and get it switched over because it would be nice to have those together.
the more you systemize things, it's just less work for you in the long
For sure.
run.
Exactly.
As a business owner, you wear many hats. You got to do this and that. And
You're the head advertiser.
Yes.
You're the head, HR, and pest control guy. You know.
I'm gonna turn this around.
No, you're
Sorry,
good. You're
everybody.
good. What now when you say pest control, like everyone thinks of bugs and stuff. What is the biggest like rodent, I guess, that you deal with? Like, are you out there
Besides in-laws?
I don't know if they're gonna
Biggest
spray for
rodent,
that.
I think prairie dogs would probably be like one
As
of the
big
big
as you get.
things.
I don't know if you guys do like skunk removals or
You know what? I'm licensed for it. I just don't have the time for it.
yeah.
So with any kind of animal trapping, skunks, raccoons, stuff like that, even bats, I mean, I kind of pick and choose. If it's a current customer and they're older and they can't get a hold of somebody, then I'll help them out. But it just takes up so much time because when you set the traps, you got to go out every day. They prefer you go out twice a day. So if you're running route, you still got to go and check these houses out in the county for raccoon.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time. So
No,
we
for sure.
refer all that out to a different company, and they take care of all that big stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure.
That's kind of smart. I mean, you know, you get to pick and choose who your client is.
Right.
Something I read. So as far as like bringing in new clients, are you mostly just doing it based off of a referral, word of mouth? Like, are you advertising?
what's your
or
marketing?
Socials?
You know what?
or
We do some marketing on Facebook, but it's just mostly like Angela will put something together. And that's why I said, like, she kind of heads that, but we work together on everything. She'll put something together and she'll send, hey, what do you think of this? And we correct each other and fix this, or like we put our heads together. She'll post it on our business page on Facebook and just share it in local groups.
Yeah.
I mean, we have done like some ads on Facebook, and it always seems like the ads go to the wrong people. Like
Yeah, I feel like
we
the-
try to target,
yeah.
but it still doesn't come.
The demographic.
It's a science.
Yeah,
It's a science. To,
I
If I
feel
could
like if
master
you
that,
if you
it'd be
put
nice.
something together on the I Live in Pueblo West group, that is
Yeah.
going. One, it's free, but I feel like the return on your time investment is 10 times over my sponsored post.
We get a lot of customers from Facebook groups.
That the group
You know,
is
I
great.
used to be an admin in I Live in Pueblo West, and I kind of stepped away from that. But
It's a nightmare.
oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
a lot of work, a lot of crybabies.
Oh, my
Shout out to
God.
I Live in Pueblo West.
Yeah, shout
But,
out to those guys
yeah,
for
all the
giving me a
Karen-
warning when one of my customers went rogue over a deposit. But yeah, that's another story.
The Karens and the Kyles on that group are
Oh
just
my God.
yeah.
that
I
reminds me,
stepped
I'm
away.
sharing this in the Pueblo West Facebook group.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
Do it. Now
No,
they're
I'm
gonna
not part-
boycott us now.
Right.
I'm not part of that group. I couldn't do it. I said, you know what? The business I get here isn't worth the mental sanity that I'm losing being in this Facebook
Right.
group.
Oh, it's
I
crazy.
mean, to be honest, if we didn't have a business and I wasn't on the Metro board, I probably wouldn't even have Facebook.
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think it's just
Yeah, it's
know,
it's a
a
time
lot of
suck.
time-
Yeah, it's a
lot
time
of time
suck.
spent.
Well, I guess we
doing
can
nothing.
Like, but I was gonna say, on as far as the Facebook like advertising thing goes, or just posting on there, I think it works well because what I've noticed is like Facebook is great for local, and it's kind of cool because your business is only local.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
can't remote pest control.
I
Yeah,
could see why.
One day, man.
I
One
could
day.
see why you would be getting such a good return on that. You wouldn't really have a need to like, oh, I'm gonna get on Instagram unless you like make a pest control course to sell or something like that.
I mean, like I do a podcast, so I have an Instagram just for the podcast. And I share posts and stuff like that.
Pest Life Podcast link
Yeah.
is down
Shout
below.
out.
yeah.
Haven't done one in a while, but hopefully this will give me the itch to get back into it.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, we go all over the state as far as pest control. So we got accounts in Fort Morgan, Lamar, Lahana, all throughout the valley, all the way up to Creed, South Fork.
Oh wow.
So we're kind of spread out. We go a lot of places, but I don't use Facebook groups in those places to post because we only go down there once a month, and I don't want people to be like, "Well, you made a post. I need you out here tomorrow." Like, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way.
You can get on the schedule on your on your
So
day.
I try to, as far as marketing, I try just to stick to Pueblo West and Pueblo, not really go out too far in those other groups. But there's a good return on those. It's free.
So if you could,
Wouldn't
you
understand.
can't beat free.
No.
Have you considered ever like trying to expand into like a second location, like a Springs or a Denver location or something?
I thought about Denver. The only thing is I'd have to find the right person
to manage or
to basically manage themselves and maybe start a route first, grow that, and then get an office and set all that up. And right now, with the pick of the litter and finding employees, yeah, we're going to wait a little bit on that. But yeah, I've thought about it. I mean, there's a lot of accounts that we could probably take easily. right now when I send the guys up there's 2 guys going and they both have full routes.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes when I go, I have to fill in. So there's a lot of work that we could get. I'm just haven't really pushed because I haven't found that right person just yet.
That makes sense. It seems like in business you create a good system and then you just copy and paste it and copy and paste it. And it seems like you have the system part down. It's just about finding someone to paste it for you.
Someone that's going to listen. You know, that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Someone that's actually going to do, you know, hey, we want it in this order, and they're actually going to do that. I mean, it's
how come you think?
hard.
Why do you think it's so hard to find people? Because that's such a common thing that you hear.
I think in every industry right now,
We're
everybody's
pretty
having
much
a hard time finding employees, and I don't think it's the pay, because I know like McDonald's is hiring like $15 an hour. I think it's just a work ethic, and just I really can't say like it's the younger generation, because like my daughter just graduated. She has great work ethic. I guess it just depends on the person, but I guess they like free too. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I wish I could nail out, and I mean we've had younger people that we've tried out, and some of them lasted a little bit of time, but it always reverts to they want their weekends off. They have plans. They have parties that they want to go to. They want to make money, but they don't want to work. They don't want to put in the time to make the money. I mean,
their favorite Instagram influencer says, "Don't work that weekend."
Right,
you know,
right.
I think it is like a work ethic thing and how you're brought up. You know, like with the law enforcement background, I knew I was missing birthdays, weekends.
Yeah.
I'm, working holidays. It doesn't matter, but that was already set from the beginning. So
Right.
I feel like a lot of these people and kids now they don't want to sacrifice.
It's like self-entitlement kind of.
For sure,
They feel like
yeah.
you owe them, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. You should.
They'll learn one day
Yeah.
when they're broke and they don't have nothing, and then, you know, I've even had people that called and said, "Hey, can I work for you when I need money?" Like, we don't do by the day.
How do we
Subcontracting.
charity 1099?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
My taxes takes enough of that. You know, shout out to nobody, IRS.
all the taxing entities in
Exactly.
this country.
No, you had touched on it being on the Metro board. You want to talk about what was the thought process going into that?
Newly elected member,
Congratulations.
Nick Madero.
I honestly never even imagined running for any kind of office. And I know me and Brad have had conversations about this kind of imposter syndrome. And when I decided to run, everything was going smooth, and then like the day of the forum, I think it was like March 31st, that imposter syndrome just, like that little voice in my head was like,
Kicked you.
what the fuck are you doing? Like, you can't, that's not you. You can't do that. You're not going to win. You know, you started getting all the negative thoughts in my head, and I actually was getting ready to throw in the towel and just be like, you know what, this is not for me. But I just kind of manned up and pushed that little bitch voice to the side and just went out there. And I didn't think I did a great job. I had people come telling me how great it was. And, you know, I guess when you're kind of evaluating yourself, I didn't think I did that great, to be honest. So I was kind of shocked about it. And then I wind up winning.
So it is an elected position. Can
It's
you
an
tell
elected
people
position.
what the position is?
Pueblo West is not a city, it's a metropolitan. So you have 5 board seats. There was 3 up for this go round. 2 were seeking re-election, and 1 couldn't because I think she did her 2 terms. So it started off with 13 candidates. Then it dropped down to like 10. Then it dropped down to like 9. So I want to say it was like 8 at the end. I was up against 8 other people for 3 seats.
Wow.
So we kind of help make the decisions and do what's in the best interest of Pueblo West. That's my goal. There's no self-interest. I think the pay is like $1,400 a year, which
Solid.
It's not money motivated.
no, I think you guys will make more money
And
off of your 1 cent views.
I don't think you're going to get any insider trading either as a board member.
Yeah.
No, so I didn't run for the money or the accolade or the title of being on the board. I ran because I felt like I needed to make a difference in our community, and that's kind of why I ran. So that $1,400, I'm donating it back to Parks and Rec in Pueblo West. And,
That's cool.
you know,
Pickleball courts, here we come.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's super awesome, man. do you see any other, like, running for any other political things in your future?
I'll tell you, after this election, I don't know. I can't say no because I never thought I'd even do this. But if I did, it would probably be for my local community. I don't think I could run for anything
Big.
else because I just saw how politics is
For sure.
dirty.
Did you, I mean, I guess we can kind of get into this just because I don't know, but, like, did you start a new Facebook page before? For the running, because I see a lot of people do that.
I had a campaign page, and then once I won it started off as a like page, and then it turned into a following. I don't know what happened with Facebook. They kind of changed something. So I have a page, and I just strictly do political stuff on there. You know, just sharing things with Metro
for the community.
Being
events.
Being transparent. I think that was one of the main things I wanted to do with the communities because I didn't see a lot of transparency with past board people.
For sure.
It's not their fault. I know they got lives and they're busy and
try to separate those two lives, I'm sure.
Right. So on my personal page, though, man, I'm kind of an asshole. So I just post whatever the hell
funny
I want,
meme, shit posts, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I could never run. Like, all they have to do is pull up my Twitter and just see the ignorant shit that I say, and I'm like, they're gonna use it against me.
I did have some stuff like that pop up. Of they pulled something that I posted like 4 or 5 years ago.
I'm sure. Yeah, you could.
And they brought it up and say, "Remember when you posted this?" So
They're like,
I don't even remember that, but hey, thanks for digging up. Did you find anything else that I might be interested in from my past?
I was looking for some vacation pictures back on Disney. Yeah. Did you get any of those you could send over?
Yeah. See, I don't know.
I
Kudos to you.
Vacation so long, I don't even know what that is anymore.
Couldn't do that. Yeah, that's insane. So let's slide on over. What is your podcast about?
The podcast that I do, that's called the Pest Life Podcast, and it's just a podcast for pest control people, exterminators. I've had some guests on there that were industry related to pest control. I've interviewed people and kind of it's all about how, like, the pest life, like just how every day is, and a lot of entrepreneurial stuff on there. I talk about, authenticity and being yourself and being who you are, and just everyday business stuff, kind of.
Have you would you say the podcast is pretty successful, or?
I haven't posted a podcast since, I want to say, like February, maybe even January. I've been doing it now for a few years. I think that's the thing, is consistency. I'm kind of hard with that,
sure.
With so much going on. Last I checked, there was like 11 or 12,000 downloads, and only like 30-something episodes out.
That's not bad.
Right, that's really good.
Yeah,
because this is our 26th episode.
Is it?
We have views on
that's kind of
YouTube.
all we look at is
views might
on
be
YouTube.
4,000, and then on
our lifetime numbers
on actual listens through podcast platforms. I think we're less than 1,000, maybe 800 listens or something. So.
I think I have it set up on Libsyn, and that just kind of throws the podcast to all the different places. So I've never looked at each specific place, but I think it's like close to 12,000 downloads altogether. The cool part is when you look at those, you see the map, so you see
where.
Yeah. So I always assumed that it was just going to be like United States, and there's people in Thailand and.
That's crazy.
It's really weird.
I've never even heard of.
What's interesting? I wonder if that pulls, like, if the person's listening on a computer with a VPN. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because I always wondered.
It's very interesting. Yeah, ours has like a breakdown, and it's 99% USA, and then there's like 5 other countries that are less than 1% and stuff.
I have people listening in Japan and.
Do you find
Brazil and
which
Italy,
platform do you find most of your reach for your podcast?
I think it was Apple.
Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. It was either Apple or Stitcher. Those are like the top 2. I
don't
had
even
it
know
on
if we're on
Spotify,
Stitcher,
but shout out to the haters out there. Somebody reported my podcast, so they like went and reviewed everything, and because I didn't own the rights to the music, they just started pulling shit.
Oh, that's annoying.
I was like, man. So,
dang.
So whoever did that, I got a cup here. I love haters. Thank you for that.
Yeah, our number 1 is on Apple Podcast too. I think it's like 70% of our listens.
That's where I listen to your guys' show. I listen to every episode. That's where I listen to it. I
No,
know
that's
it's going to
awesome.
be hard to
Listen
do this
to
podcast knowing you just had an NFL player.
Big shoes to fill.
In here.
You know? You fill the chair, though. You fill the
Big
chair.
shoes, big shoes. I fill the chair, but not the shoes, you know?
I mean, surprisingly, it didn't do as well as I thought it would from what I've seen. It is what it is.
still fresh.
Our podcast is slowly dying if you look at YouTube views, so we'll see what.
Yeah.
we'll
I mean,
see what
Instagram is slowly dying every single day, too, so I don't feel as bad. But I do it because I like
the podcast.
I like
the
it.
way you guys set it up. I think it's awesome. I think you guys are doing a great job.
I appreciate
it. And it's not
it.
just to toot your horns or whatever.
It's not because you're here.
No.
Which, by the way, he did hook us
I'm
up
gonna
with the coolest merch ever. It's very rare we get gifts here on the Lasting Legacy podcast, and he hooked us up with some shirts. So watch for that shirt drop at the.
This is proof. See, it's in my favorites.
Boom! Yeah, it's
There we
no
go.
kidding. That was the first one that popped up.
It's right there.
So
I don't even have my own on here.
Neither do I, because it's not on my podcast app of choice. Because I refuse to pay $20 to get the login, but no, that's super awesome. And then you mentioned earlier, maybe off camera, you mentioned about TikTok. So do you do pest control TikTok?
I do,
dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that and where that's
maybe
at?
I'll check it out. It's I forget my name.
Look it up. Yeah,
we'll
look
link
it up.
it.
Check it
Yeah,
out. Real
we'll
quick.
definitely link it in the bottom too.
Yeah, I like to have fun on there. I mean, I do videos about stuff we see, pulling pranks on the technicians.
I love that. I'm hooked on Beekeeper TikTok, so
Sometimes
I'd
I don't
imagine
even know
it's
I'm recording. I just start recording, and then they're sitting there, and they give me the look, and I turn it off, and then you got to find the right sound to it.
The sound is
know?
everything.
So
Yeah.
I just did one of Eloy. We have a van, and I was recording him through the backup camera. So the backup camera stays on all the time. So I'm sitting there recording, and he takes his Webster head off of his Webster, and he's sitting there dancing and doing all this. So then I put some Mexican music to it.
Oh my god.
His wife seen it. She thought it was pretty funny. His sister seen it.
That's amazing.
He laughed about it, but I don't think he liked the video.
He's like, that's
Shout out
funny.
to
Take it
Eloy.
down.
That's super awesome. What are some of your goals, maybe personal and for the business moving forward, short, medium, long term? So by the end of the year, 3 months,
By the end of
3
the
years.
year, drop about 100 pounds.
Gotcha.
That's why I'm
you-
drinking nothing but water and kind of watching it.
Heck yeah.
I did it last year, and everything was
You lost
going
100 pounds
smooth.
last year?
No, I
Oh.
lost 87 pounds
I
last year.
might as well
Pretty
be 100.
damn
I did
Yeah.
really good. I was doing really good, and then disaster struck. My brother-in-law passed away, and then I just kind of didn't give a shit no more, I guess. Just holidays came, and
Yeah.
everything
Dude,
got
it's-
messed up, But in life, I mean, things are going to happen all the time, so it's kind of my own fault. Probably would have been a lot better health-wise had I just stuck to it. But that's the good thing about life, when things knock us down, we can get up and just keep going. So that's what I'm doing right now.
No, that's awesome.
It's hard to do that. I do that like every summer. I'll lose like 30 pounds, and then I put it all back on every winter.
For
That's
sure.
the thing.
And I'm
man.
like, man, it would be
tough.
great if I could just even maintain in winter one year and just hit 2 summers of losing 30 pounds.
I blame it on the restaurants in town. They're just so damn good. I can't stop.
Blame it on DoorDash.
That too. It's too convenient now.
yeah.
It's never been. It is faster for me to have Chipotle delivered to my house than it is for me to go get it,
It's crazy.
and it's $2 more. Like
Yeah.
that's
I'd rather
totally
pay the
worth it.
$2.
Yeah, have the $2. That's worth
That's the land right now. We're in the
Yeah.
convenience time,
No, for
It's more
sure.
Convenient.
We always used to, we grew up. I just shot Goal Academy's graduation, and one of the guys who gave one of the speeches said, you grow up saying, don't talk to strangers online, don't get in a stranger's car, and don't take candy from strangers. And we do all that shit every single day,
willingly.
willingly, and we pay
And you
them.
pay them a tip for that,
Yeah, it's so
What are
crazy.
they doing to your food? I don't.
Yeah.
I like to think positive. Thank God that McDonald's is always the bags are sealed.
They-
Yeah.
when
I
it's-
always worry about stuff like. There's actually a TikTok that I seen this guy. Like, say you order like sandwich and fries from Wendy's, so he'll get the bag and he'll put your food, and it's all sealed. Well, he'll buy a side of fries himself, put it in the heater bag, walk up to your house eating fries, and be like, "Hey man, these fries are good. Here's your order." And the people
Oh
are
my
just like,
God.
I've seen that.
That is
"What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm just kidding, man.
That's so funny. But I
I
mean,
bought my own fries, but
it's
I used to think
not
of stuff
unrealistic.
Like that.
Yeah,
Just popping the top off your soda and taking a little swig.
mean, I could defeat, federal drug test seals on cups if I have to. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Right.
it's not impossible.
Nothing's impossible.
It's crazy.
If they really want to do something,
No, you just put it in the freezer. But no, that's super awesome. And then what about long term? Are you looking to grow
long
or
term? That Brad
maintain?
brought that up earlier. That's one thing we'd like to do is have a second location up north. I mean,
nice.
Something we want to do. That's kind of our long term goal, and hire more technicians. And
so if you've ever wanted to kill some insects, they're hiring.
Yeah. I mean, we're always looking for great talent. That's the thing. It's just hard to find right now. If they do want to come on and work, they only want to work part time, and
doesn't really work.
With this industry, it's kind of hard. I mean, that really doesn't help being part time.
No, for sure.
I figure it takes usually 2-3 months to train somebody right. So if you're only working part time, that means it's going to take me 6 months just to even get you trained to go by yourself. So.
Yeah. And I feel like it's hard to keep people on the same page with that organization that we were talking about.
Right.
Like if you have a part-timer, that's one thing I've noticed is they're always, it seems like they're like 6 months behind on changes, It
takes time. Right now we just hired a technician. He's almost at 90 days, I think June 20th or something.
Almost made it through that probation.
He's almost made it through, and he's an older guy, and we never kind of really looked, and not that we're discriminated against age or nothing like that. We never really looked for somebody that was older, and he's, I think, 60, 61. And I'll tell you, that guy could work circles around some of these young people.
I believe it.
His work ethic, his attitude. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's a lie.
He uses the shit out of that phone. Yeah.
This guy's a beast. I think that's his biggest thing is using the phone, because that's where our system is and everything. And
let your clients know you're on the way and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Give him a call and texting him. And he doesn't like text, but he's learned to text.
For sure.
So I tell him, it's easier for when you need to get a hold of me, just send me a text because I can respond quick. If I'm doing something and you call, I can't answer your phone call.
I'm going to forget.
So he's learning. He's learning. I think once I see a couple of emojis he sends me, then I'll know that
he's made it.
Right now it's words, and it's talk to text.
Oh, my goodness.
So,
it goes one of two ways.
Yeah.
When he sends you that poop emoji and the ant emoji, it's on.
Yeah. Then we know, hey, he got it.
Start sending you GIFs. That's going to be super awesome. Well, I know you were worried about this in the beginning, but I feel like you're ready to go. What do you want your lasting legacy to be?
That's a question you guys ask on every episode, and I even told you earlier, I don't know, man. But now talking, I think what I want my legacy to be is for everybody to know that I try to do the right thing, and I busted my ass for my wife and kids, that I gave from the heart, not expecting nothing back, and just try to do good for other people and try to make a change. I mean, even if it's a small one, that I gave a shit, like that I cared about other people, because there's times where I've done more for other people when I wasn't in the financial place to do it, but I did it anyway. I just want my legacy to be, this guy cared and he left it all out there at the end, Just got to give 100% till God calls me home. I guess that's my legacy that I want.
That's awesome.
It's kind of a weird kind of a weird response, but just sitting here
like
chit chatting, and that's kind of what I was thinking.
To sum up, yeah.
I
think it's a good motto to live by as well. I feel like I don't do enough for others, so it's always reassuring for me to hear it.
I love my wife to death, man, but sometimes she says that I go overboard on stuff like that. I don't know, my accountant probably feels the same way sometimes. How the hell's he doing all this for somebody else when he's got this going on? But
cash payments. Anyway. No, I'm just kidding.
Shout out to the IRS.
Shout out to the IRS times 3. But yeah, man, I'm super glad we were able to have you on, and I hope your busy season is super busy and you guys can keep growing and pushing.
Yeah, well, if you need a job, man, hit me up. No.
Most definitely.
I'm sure you're in the busy season as well.
Marketing. So
I don't think I have a slow season anymore. What I'm learning,
I don't think so either. Brad hasn't made a reel, and we're gonna start a timer, like a little countdown on Instagram.
That's probably why the podcast is dying, because I don't make reels.
Brad hasn't made a reel. I guarantee it. Make reels and watch it flourish.
You still doing TikTok?
No.
That's the problem.
No, for real. Yeah, I still want to double down on TikTok. I'm just way too lazy.
TikTok and making the reels for Instagram, man.
That's huge.
That's where it's at, the gram.
It is.
I learned that from my daughters.
Kind
I
of.
never called it the gram. It was always Instagram,
Now you're on the gram.
Now I'm on the gram.
You're hashtagging on the gram.
It's lit. It's lit.
It's hella lit.
There's
in
a
here.
reel.
Well, check out all of the links for his lit content down below, and check us out anywhere you get your podcasts. Good night.